Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tesla's stock is up almost 2% today, getting back to a very important level. We'll talk about it here in this video. But first, we need to get into all of your Tesla stock breaking news and what's causing markets to soar higher today. So first up, what happened in broader markets? There's a couple different things. The Hang Seng Index falls by 9.41%, its largest loss in 16 years, and the second largest loss this century. Now you guys have to remember, China was one of the most heavily shorted trades in our markets, and China just went parabolic in the last 2 weeks or so. Now what was happening is hedge funds and institutions, they had to sell US stocks, bring up their collateral levels because they were getting completely blown out on their China shorts. We did have some favorable comments from Fed Kugler today. He said, "I want a balanced approach to make progress on inflation and avoid an undesirable slowdown in jobs and economic growth." He says if downside risks to employment escalates, cutting rates more quickly may be appropriate. And this, I think, was a big statement as well. He says the labor market cooling has started, but the Fed is looking at trends, not single data. So kind of pushing back on the thought logic that Wall Street has had over the past couple of days, that strong jobs report for August is going to slow down the Fed's need to cut rates. He kind of pushed back on that in that last quote. Despite that, 10-year Treasury yields are still marginally moving higher today, which is insane. But really, this rally is just being led by big tech today, especially Nvidia. Nvidia is up 3.6%, Apple is up 1.33%, Google's up 0.5%, Meta's up 0.65%, Amazon's up 0.6%, and Microsoft up almost 1%. And Nvidia is really accelerating today following the DC AI Summit, where Nvidia's software was really in highlight. Nvidia says companies ranging from AT&T, Deloitte, and Delphini, and research centers like the National Cancer Institute and SETI Institute are using their software technologies. And executives at Foxconn said that they are constructing in Mexico the world's largest facility for assembling AI servers to house NVIDIA GB200 chips, part of its Blackwell AI architecture. So these things are really pushing markets higher on an index level, but really this is just Nvidia's market, and everyone else is paying rent, as Jim Cramer would say. Nvidia is leading markets in a phenomenal way yet again, and it's really bringing everything up with it. At least on a headline basis, the S&P is up 0.75%, the Nasdaq is up 1.17%, the Russell 2000 is up almost 0.5%, and the Dow is up 0.15%. But it's really not that good if you're looking at the average stock. The RSP is up 0.21% today, so about 3x, a little over 3x underperforming the market cap weighted S&P. But that's neither here or there because Tesla stock is up almost 2% today, so Tesla is benefiting from the rally in big tech. What I also will point out is the VIX is only down 5.3% today. It's still at 21.44, so the VIX is still very elevated, and that could be heading into tomorrow's economic data. There could be some uncertainties following the data that we get tomorrow morning. Let's get into all of your Tesla stock news today. First up, it does look like Tesla's Hollywood Diner is showing great progress. In fact, it looks like it's almost done. In other news today, RBC Capital has increased its Tesla price target to $236 per share from $224 per share while maintaining an outperform rating. The adjustment comes in anticipation of Tesla's Robotaxi Day. For the first time, it will highlight a business that represents $153 billion of revenue for Tesla, 63% of our valuation. Daniel Ho, Tesla's former head of vehicle programs and new product Integration announced that he has joined Waymo as program director. He served almost 11 years at Tesla and now is at Waymo for about 2 months now. TAG Energy today turned on a 100 megawatt, 200 megawatt hour Tesla Megapack facility in North Yorkshire, England, making it the largest transmission connected BESS project in the UK following energization. I think that's how you say that. Rivian cut its 2024 production forecast by 15% due to a copper winding shortage for its Enduro motor. Earlier this year, a miscommunication with its sole supplier, Essex Furukawa, along with Rivian's miscalculation of its demand led to the shortfall. Essex has since diverted supply to other customers, and now it cannot fulfill Rivian's requirements, according to Bloomberg. Hyundai has begun producing electric vehicles at its $7.6 billion plant in Georgia. FSD V12.5.6 is starting to roll out, along with end-to-end on highway for non-Cybertruck Teslas. And GM has launched a less expensive version of the Silverado EV called the LT Trim, starting price of $65,500, including the $7,500 federal EV credit, with a range of 408 miles. U.S. officials to NBC say that Israel is considering striking energy facilities in Iran. This did cause an end of the day bit of a sell-off because energy you could imply is nuclear or it is oil, which both of those really are not good for the current conflict. Israel actually striking Iran's oil capabilities would be a much bigger problem for the global energy markets, and for economic uncertainty, yeah, that's about as worst as it's going to get at this point. Like, if you were to see a large spike in oil, you are most certainly going into a recession. And I think that's the risk here from the market's perspective. Fed Bostic also said today that Hurricane Helen and Milton potentially have significant implications for economy over the next 3 to 6 months. So again, trying to reinforce that the last jobs report we've seen is not going to derail the Fed's cutting efforts going ahead. This news about Iran potentially seeing some of their energy facilities destroyed also had a negative impact to Tesla stock. Now Tesla stock is only trading up about 1.6%. RBC says today that Tesla's Robotaxi event will highlight a purpose-built vehicle, ambitious financials. Says RBC. Tesla is expected to unveil a purpose-built vehicle during its Robotaxi Day on October 10th that it plans to use as part of self-driving taxi service. RBC Capital Markets said Tuesday in a note, quote, Tesla will likely make the case that it can control the entire ecosystem, including the app and the software for Robotaxi operations, and unveil a full-service offering similar to the autonomous ride-hail models currently employed by Waymo and Cruise. According to the investment firm, RBC also expects Thursday's event to include ambitious financials with total addressable Robotaxi market valued at trillions of dollars. RBC sees robotaxis generating $1.7 trillion in revenue globally by 2040, and several players capturing market share, including fleet operators, app providers, car makers, and software developers. Quote, for the first time, the company will highlight a business that represents $153 billion of revenue for Tesla, 63% of our valuation, RBC said, and they raised their price target to $236 from $224 per share and maintained that outperform rating. It's also being reported that Tesla earns market perform rating from Oppenheimer. Tesla launches a new Model 3 with more than 700 kilometers of autonomy. As announced by the company, led by Elon Musk through a statement, the new version of the Model 3 has a range of up to 702 kilometers in WLTP combined cycle with 18-inch wheels, 640 kilometers with the 19-inch wheels, which have an extra cost of 1,600 euros. Tesla stock is having another huge day for option activity. You're seeing 126 different trades totaling $120 million with a positive order value of 87%. Now, volume today is 61% calls and 39% puts, so that looks really good as well. You are continuing to see short sellers covering on short positions. Here on the day today, you have about 300,000 shares that are being covered on, with Tesla's short interest of free float sitting at 2.76%. You have $18.45 billion currently sold short in Tesla stock, totaling 76.62 million shares total that are still sold short. Google Trends data for the Tesla lineup is actually falling for the Model 3 and the Model Y. The Model S and the Model X staying pretty much unchanged. The Cybertruck is ramping higher from 41 up to 46. Sentiment for Tesla stock today surprisingly is bearish at 29. Yesterday it was bearish at 44. Today you have message volume that is high at 55. Yesterday it was low at 41. And the participation ratio today is high at 56. The percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average is up to 56%, up 1.5% today. Global inventory numbers for the Tesla lineup starting to fall again for the Model Y, down to about 6,500. The Model 3 as well, down to about 4,000. The Model X sitting at 3,400, and the Model S at 2,000. And last but not least, Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google. And Tesla stock at the time of recording this video is $244.36. Really, to get me excited, you got to get back above 246. Then again, I don't really know how much upside we're now going to get between now and Thursday. I mean, it depends on a whole multitude of different factors. We have data coming out tomorrow morning with CPI. We have this pending strike, retaliation strike from Israel on Iran. How does that affect energy markets? How does that affect, markets in general, stock market, right? These things are kind of hard to foresee. If Tesla stays around this relative price heading into Thursday, I do think we're going to be very excited after the Robotaxi event with the rally that we do get, because I think justifiably Tesla stock should be higher than where it is today, and I think it will go higher than where it is today over the next coming weeks. But again, there's so many different factors that are affecting our markets and affecting Tesla right now. It's hard to say exactly when Tesla stock will go through the larger part of the rally. So we'll talk about this more in the next video, specifically because we're going to talk about the economic data a little bit more in the next video. So stay tuned to the channel for that one. Let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.